Hi friends, let's see the app we are going to develop in the next couple of lessons. When you run this app, this is the main option screen. You will see a menu which is on a table view. So I can click on say employee options, then it will load this data, and all the employee data are loaded dynamically from a data source, right? And then I can click on employee, and then it's dynamically changing this page with that particular employee and the projects. If I go back and click another employee, you can see the same page is dynamically changing with that employee and the projects, which are all loaded dynamically. The images are also loaded dynamically from a data source, right? So it's different images loaded dynamically. And then I can delete employees. Let's say I can swipe and say delete, then it deletes the data, right? If not, I can click on edit and say if I want to delete something, click on this and click delete, right? And when I'm done, I can say done, right? And then further I can insert data dynamically. Let us say a section P and say Peter, for example, and click OK. So it all gets added dynamically, right? Then once I'm done with employees, I can go scroll down, right? And then I can go into department options, right? So department, and do the same thing for department, right? But it's very important that you have to make sure to look at the next couple of lectures in this on table views, that is part 1, 2, 3, etc., until we complete this app. It explains all the theory and the practical knowledge which you need to know about developing this app, right? Okay friends, we are very excited to show you how to develop this app practically, and let's do it now. Arrays, right? Now let's run again and see, right? We just did some changes. Let's run and see whether it affects anything, appearance or any issues, right? Let's see. Now let's swipe and let's try to delete, right? Still the same error, right? Why is it the same error, right? Because now next thing I have to do is in this method which I uncommented, which is commit editing style. This is the standard code. If the editing style is delete, right, I have to delete. See, it tells, the auto-generated code tells me that I have to delete the row at from the data source. So I have to now make sure that I delete not only from the table view, I have to delete from that data source. It means from my ns mutable array now, right? So I have to delete, right? Now let me write the code for that. Okay, I wrote the 2 lines of code. So from that above list of employee names, right? Because it's a multi-dimensional array, I have to first tell the row number, then the column number. So from that array, I'm telling, because I can find the row number and the column number using the index part dot section and index part dot row. Actually, I told this earlier also, in the mutable array, it's rows and columns, but in the table view, that's sections and rows. So basically, so what the row in the multi-dimensional array is the section here in the table view, and the column in that array is the row here, right? Because they are different terminologies. Over there you call them as rows and columns, but in the table we call them as sections and rows, right? But that's how they correspond. So I'm passing the section of index path to find the row from the array, and then I'm telling from that row remove the object at index, right? And for that I'm giving an index path.row, which will correspond to the column. So remove object at index, right, is a method in the ns mutable array, as you saw, right? See, remove object at index. So this way I'm removing the exact 2 objects. So let's run this now, my friends, right? So hopefully this error should go away now because you are consistent with that. So now if I try to swipe and delete, right? Awesome, right? Awesome, friends. Exciting, isn't it, right? I'm pretty sure you all are excited, right? Because you all are learning a lot, right? To become developers. That's what we want, my friends, right? Awesome, right? That's our objective, to make you all specialized developers. Wonderful, right? So now see, I can swipe and delete, and also I can swipe straight away like this and delete, right? So that is how you dynamically delete the stuff from a table view, right? Awesome. So now you know the dynamic deletion part, and keep in mind, when you delete from here, it also deletes in the real data source as well, right? Because I have, see, we are removing it from both the places. Awesome. So and then so once it removes from the model, then it removes from the table view as well. That was in the auto generated code. Awesome. So the delete is done. Let's see what's next. Okay, now we are going to focus on inserting data dynamically. for that, again, there are multiple ways of doing it. I'm showing you one way of doing it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the storyboard, and what I'm going to do is into our table view controller, to the top area, I'm going to put a button, right? But it's called as bar button. What's a bar button? A bar button is a special button where you can place at the top. You call this as a navigation area, like a navigation bar, right? So you can put a bar button over here, right? So I'm going to put a bar button, right? It's just a button, but it's in the navigation bar. So you can see in the left hand side also. See, it's in a navigation item, right? Awesome, right? It's in the navigation item. You put a bar button, right? And then let's change it, call it as, let's put the title as insert, right? Okay, let's call it as insert, right? So I got the bar button, and let's run this now. So if I run this with the bar button, I should see that insert button or just plays over there, my friends, right? Let's see, right? Awesome, I got the insert. Now what I want to do is, when I click insert, I want to insert data. Again, I can do it in many ways. I can just push some data, right? I can just put some hard-coded data, but I want I want to get the input from the user, right? So for that, when I click the insert button, to get the input from the user, I'm going to use a UI alert controller, right? So using a UI alert controller, I can I can display a small dialog box and ask the user to input the data to enter, meaning employee details, right? And then I can take that data from the UI alert control and then insert that to the table view, right? So I'm going to write that code now, right? For that, I had to write code for insert button, right? So now you know how to write code for insert button, because you have seen the previous lessons in this series for that, right? So what you do is you click on the button and you click on assistant editor, right? Depending on the Xcode version, you might have to find where it is, right? In this version, when you click this, you could, as some versions, it's straight away, it's somewhere here, right? Just says as, but just find it out and click assistant editor, right? While you kept the button clicked, selected, and then it will take you to the right class, right? It will take you to the right class, which should be your table view controller list of employees.m, right? So it should be table view controller list of employees.m, right? That class, right? So see, table view controller list of employees, right? So that you are there, right? So in that, then you have to drag this button. So the button events has to go to the bottom. So you have to control drag this, right? And let's call it as insert click. Okay, friends, right? Insert clicked. So now I got the method in place. So now let's go and write the code for the insert click method, right? So I want to display that, as I said, I want to display that UI alert controller, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to you have to write the code, right? So you have to type this code, right? You have to create an object of UI alert controller, right? UI alert controller, and just type the code, right? You will get some context sensitive help also, and the message, right? So the message is, the title is, okay, enter let's say employee data, right? That should be the message, enter employee data, right? And let's say same, doesn't matter, right? Enter employee data, right? So I just said in employee input, and then something special is, to get the input to this UI alert controller, I'm going to add a text field, right? So you got a method where you can add a text field to a UI alert controller. So the method is, on the alert object, you have to call add text field, right? With configuration handler. And then this is the syntax. You have to carefully follow and type the syntax, right? And then into text field, the placeholder, meaning what you want to display, right? Whatever you want to display. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to ask the user to input the relevant section, whether it's A or F or G or whatever it is, right? So I'm going to put it as a section header, right? Like, so the user knows that here the user has to enter the section header, a text field, right? Okay, a text field, and you can give whatever some certain properties, right? Whatever the properties you want. So now I added one text field, right? So then what I want to do is, I would like to run and see this, right? I would like to run and see whether this alert controller is working. Okay, so then I type this code self.present and I'm presenting the alert, right? Let's see whether it works. So when I click the button, I should see a alert controller with one text field now, right? Let's see whether it works. Okay, insert, right? Awesome. See, it works. Employee input, enter employee data, section header. Now the user understand with the section header, right? Now let's go and continue. Let's add another text box to enter the employee name. So then I added another text field with the placeholder, let's say employee name, right? And also if you want to get some text like password kind of data, you can make, but I just made it and commented it because I don't want, but if you want, you can get password entries like this, right? Awesome, right? Now I will get I will have two text boxes, right? Let's run this now, right? So I should see when I click insert, I'm getting the section, so I can say section A and AME, right? So then, so now I need a button. When I click the button, I want it to be dynamically inserted here, right? Let's do it now, right? So let's put a button. Okay, so I just wrote a few lines of code, right? Which is into the alert, you have to call add action to add the button, right? And then you give the name of the button, right? And you have to give the style and the handler. Handler means what should happen when you click the button, right? So what you write here is a block, right? So it's an anonymous block. So if you are not familiar with the syntax of the block, and if you don't know what is it, look at our previous lessons on blocks, right? Objective C block. So this is a block. This block is what will execute when the user click the OK button, right? The handler. So carefully type this syntax, right? So what in the block, what I have done so far is from the alert is my UI table controller. I'm accessing the text fields because I have added to the alert. I have added two text fields, right? So I'm accessing the two text fields into NS array, right? Text fields. Then I got two, so I have to access them using the index, and then from the each of the text fields, I'm calling the text property, and I'm getting the first text and the second text, which is the section header text, right? Let's say it's the section header text, right? Header text and the employee name. The user entered those two text fields, and I'm just outputting in NS log. So if I run this now, those two data, hold on, yeah, I changed the name. So those two data should appear and go into the NS log as a log message, right? So if I click insert, right, and if I say A, and if I say AME, right, AME, click OK. See, it comes because I put NS log message. See, it comes AME, right? That means the input is working. Awesome. Now my next step is those two data entered by user, I have to insert dynamically into the relevant section, right? Into the relevant section, right? Let me do it now, right? Let's write code for that part, my friends. Okay, so to make it simple and for you to understand what I'm trying to do, because what I'm going to do is slightly a complex thing. First of all, I hard coded it. What I did was, okay, when the user enter the data in these input boxes in the UI alert controller, I'm telling into the array list of employee names into section 0. That means basically section 0 is the first section A, right? I'm hard coding for you to understand. Insert the object I'm going to insert is employee name, but where? Because it's a multi-dimensional array. So then you have to say at index, you have to tell in section 0, where do I want? Say at the end, right? So in section 0, at the end mean I have to first count. I have to count how many data are in that section. So I'm counting. See, I'm counting, right? I'm counting how many data are in that section, count, and then I'm telling insert that data to that particular index. And for now, I'm hard coding an image for that employee, right? And inserting it to the images, same technique, right? Let's run and see this works, right? Now, why do I say self is, if you don't say self, right, you will get certain errors, like warnings, right? So you have to say self, so that it means, self means the current instance, right? So you are talking about the current instance because at the moment you are inside a block, right? You are inside a block. So if I remove the word self, it says the block implicitly retains self, right? And it says explicitly. So normally, say I'm referring to the array, right? So if I remove the word self, it's asking to fix it, right? You have to click fix and then it fix it, right? Awesome. So that's why I have put self when I'm referring to the arrays. Now let's run this, my friends, right? So if I run this, so I'm inserting the data into the two ns mutable arrays, right? And let's see whether it works, right? So if I click insert and if I say A and Amy, now this A and Amy should go, basically Amy should go into the section, what section? This section 0, which is the first one, right? And it should go to the end because I'm telling at index count. I'm counting and I'm inserting to the end of that because the count will give the end location, right? Now that's, but I'm not inserting the header, I'm inserting only the employee name, right? Because header is already there, right? A. But it's not showing. Why is it not showing? Why is it not showing is, my friends, once you insert data into the array, mutable array, you have to ask the table view to refresh, right? So I have to call a method to refresh the table view, right? So how do I call the method to refresh the table view, right? So I have to access the table view, right? Now where is my table view? In order to access it, where is it? It's in my storyboard. So from the storyboard, I have to make a connection. I have to make a IB outlet, right? And refer to it. So what I mean is this, right? What I mean is I'd go to the storyboard and first click on this, right? And then click on the table view. This is the table view, right? And then what I have to do is go to the assistant editor, right? Assistant editor and drag that to the assistant editor, right? So in the assistant editor, you have to be careful where it is. You have to go to the table controller employee list of employee.m file. If not, you have to select it from here. Now I have to refer to the table view because see, after I insert the data, I have to tell, okay, this table view reload, right? I have to ask to reload, but to reload data of it, I need to access it. So to access the table view, what I have to do is into the interface section, I have to go to the top, into the top interface section, see my mouse, I have to control drag, look at my mouse over here, right? I have to control drag the table view from here into this, right? And it creates a outlet, right? IB outlet. So I have to give a name. So I'm giving something like table view 1. Just don't say table view because table view is a reserved word, right? So just say table view 1, right? And just say connect. Then what it does is it auto generates, it creates a property called table view 1 IB outlet property. And this is now, it's bound, it's binded to this table view. So now I can refer to table view 1 from the code over here, right? From the code over here down, right? After I bind it, right? What I can do now is over here, I can say, okay, after adding this, right? I can say now reload the data in the table view, right? So what I'm going to do is